Today's guest is John Dietz, former CEO of Construct, a company acquired by Civo, where he now serves as Director of Enterprise Cloud Solutions. John is an experienced leader who is passionate about remote work, and we get into it all on today's episode of Makes Remote Work. Let's jump in. All right, welcome back, everybody. Today, I'm joined by John Dietz, the Director of Enterprise Cloud Solutions at Civo. John, great to have you here. Welcome in to Makes Remote Work.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me today.
Now, you've been on Rome for a while, and I know your original company, which was called Construct, which was eventually acquired by Civo, was the initial group of folks that you brought on. So tell me a little bit about your journey, being the CEO of that company, getting acquired, and now what you're currently doing today.
Yeah, thanks for asking. I think that sets us up well. We were our company used to be called Coop First. We had this open source project that me and my co-founder put together, started building it nights and weekends, like the dream that so many of us have in engineering. And after a year and a half or so, we got the product to the point where we were ready to pull it out of stealth and raise capital. And during that capital raising operation, we ended up getting acquired the first time, building out a fully remote team. And then we just recently, about a year ago, we got acquired by Civo, and that feels like home sweet home to us now. So we remain fully remote team. Video conferencing is near and dear to me as a founder. All of those sort of chapters along our journey, from raising capital to building a team for the first time to building a product to, you name it. It's all been done remotely. And Rome really tipped the scales for us. A good user experience has always been near and dear to our heart because we're on all the time and it has to be
Yeah.
great. And Rome just took care of a lot of really nice things that were really, really important to us. So.
Now, I have a quick question for you on basically when you were acquired by Civo. Were they already bought into that sort of mentality, or did were there some adjustments there? Were you basically operating independently for a little while? Like, how does that all fit into with each other?
It's a great question. When you get acquired, one of the toughest things about being acquired is that you know that you're going to have some kind of a technology consolidation in your future.
Yeah.
And they were using, a lot more of the typical incumbents. They, a lot of Hangouts and Slack, a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of Google Meets, a lot of really just kind of all over the place. But when we came in, they were immediately struck by the presence that we had in our virtual office and how valuable that was, just clocking in to know who you're clocking in with, to know who's really there with you. And much more importantly for us, when you see teams huddle together, you really see them huddle together in Rome in a way that you can kind of tell that people are talking to each other in a lot of other technologies. But Rome, you feel like you're missing out. You feel like there's a huddle over there. Those are the people that you need to be talking to. You know what's going on, and that's the one that you want to jump into. And you don't feel like you're imposing on them because you know what they're talking about. It was a no-brainer for them, and we didn't even have to fight for it. They ended up converting the whole Civo cloud over to Rome as well. So that's worked out favorably for us, thank goodness.
Love to see that. Love to hear that success story. Now, there's another question I have for you here, which is, you're also on a 4-day work week, right?
We are.
So how does that work? What was your sort of realization that needed to be a thing? How did that all come about? And did you implement that or get that implemented at Civo too? Did that come along, or what happened to that?
Yeah, in fact, Civo was the catalyst behind that. We were passionate about our craft, and it barely feels like work to a lot of us. Like we grind day and night, and it's hard for us to detach from our work. And we recognize that you do need a rest, and that was always kind of our spirit. But we never did the 4-day work week until we got acquired by Civo. And there's something different that happens when you're not expected to be at work. Like, you might show up for work on Friday, you might do a thing on Friday, you might be in a meeting on Friday, but when it's time to clock out, you don't feel like you're ripping anyone off. You don't feel like you're taking one. You're
Yeah.
just kind of, that's the deal, is that you get to walk away. So if nothing else, it's provided that environment for our group of workaholics to just kind of say, all right, it's Friday at noon. I'm getting out of here. I've done what I need to do for the week. And to see them do that from time to time is really great.
And that's one of the things that a virtual office also lends itself to is the ability to do that. There's no commutes involved. You don't have to worry about, the external elements sort of getting in the way. You compare that to a 996 culture, which is all the rage in SF these days and some other countries where you're basically working 72-hour work weeks, you're living, eating, and breathing at the office. Some people subscribe to that, that's fine, but there's also this aspect of things too, which I tend to lean more towards, which is when I'm on, I'm doing my stuff, but I also have the availability to be with my family or do things that I'm interested in and kind of unplug, but always have the option to like replug back in 2 seconds, right? If I need to get in front of a computer and talk to somebody, having a virtual office allows me to do that really easily, you know?
Exactly,
Eh,
exactly, yeah, and we're geographically heavily distributed too. Our startup game, we had to be as creative as we could, finding just everybody that we could find that fit every role, no matter where they lived. We've only been together physically 2 times in 7 years, like, we're just a very, very remote first shop.
and would you say
Um
you feel that all of your colleagues and coworkers pretty well?
Yeah, yeah, as well as you would know family.
Mhm.
Like we're together all the time. Our pair programming culture helps that a lot. We kind of have a culture where it's okay to not know something, and to just ask and say, hey, I don't get it. Can somebody help me along? And having a comfortable spot where you can hop in, take a quick scan of who's around, and just kind of tap the room of the person that would be best for that conversation real quick. It does lend itself to just like a frictionless experience of talking to your coworkers the way it used to be in the physical days. Everybody at the company feels like Rome has become home base for where we are as people. We'll do meetings until we got to start some work, and then we usually have a little bit of downtime for a couple hours, and then I'll climb in late, and a bunch of us do too. And we'll work from like 10 p.m. when all the family goes to bed until we can't take it anymore, and then it's time to do it all the next day. But it's all room all the time.
But there is, that late night session. It happens on our team all the time too. I'll go online at like 11 o'clock at night to finish something up or wrap something up after I've had dinner and spent some time with my family, whatever. It's just seeing people in there, even if I'm not meeting with anybody at 11 necessarily, I can if they're there, but like just seeing that you're not alone, seeing people on the map, like
It's
there's
so
something to
true.
that. And it's very
There's
hard to describe, but there is something like, hey, we're all in this together. This is, like you said, our home base. This is our office. And it's like, oh, there's anybody like Peter, my counterpart, right? And, you've definitely talked to Peter. He leads our support team, one of our co founders. Like, there he is. If I need to talk with him, he's there. But like, also, we're doing the same thing. We're both
Yeah,
just moving
yeah.
the ball forward, essentially. It's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
you captured that really well. That's a significant sentiment that I carry in my heart. When it's late, when you feel like you just got the weight of the world on your shoulders, and you're clocking in, but there's Rome, and you can see the faces of your coworkers that are in your office that are also going through that. And it feels better to have that collective support. It's just a
Mhm.
different, one could argue that you get that same thing out of Slack from the little green buttons, but it's just very different.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
I could be grocery shopping and be a green dot in Slack, theoretically.
exactly, exactly. Yep.
Well, that leads me to my next and final question, which is a quick one here. Describe Rome in 3 words.
Ooh, Rome in 3 words, man. Uh, Incredible user experience. No, but we use the game room religiously. I love that about it. Whenever we have a win, or whenever we're about to just strangle each other, we get in the game room and we'll blow up some cars, or we'll play Astro Ball. We even had a enormous Astro Ball Super Cup tournament. One of our employees even made trophies and distributed them around. They say
That's
Zoom,
amazing. I love that.
they have our company name. They have your company name on them. You wouldn't believe it if I showed it to you. But
Please
yeah,
do send me a photo of that. I would love to see that.
I absolutely will. But yeah, no, the game room is just one of those tiny little microcosm areas of Rome that's had just that exceptional level of care. And you would think that a company that didn't care so much about user experience wouldn't give that to you. You won't find that in Teams. They're doing something different. They're doing something very corporate. And I feel like Rome has really hit the nail on the head in terms of giving users a very comfortable experience to be in all the time. Because there's a fatigue that happens when you're on screen all the time if you're in a experience that isn't ideal from a user standpoint. And that's how we actually found Rome. We used to be on this product around which did a good job, and they ended up sunsetting it, and we were crushed. We were just like, what are we gonna do? We're not going back to these
Yeah.
older ways of doing things. And we scanned and we scanned and we scanned and we finally found Rome. It took us a hot second to find you, and it was game over as soon as it was installed. So I hope anybody that watches this can hear the sincerity in my tone. It is a great product. It's the type of product that I literally go out of my way to try to advertise, to try to raise awareness for, because it's better than what everybody else is doing, and it's a very comfortable experience to work in.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm. We love having you in Rome. We will wrap it up there. For anybody else listening, be sure to like and subscribe and, tune in for more conversations like this with leaders across the board, all over the globe, who are managing their teams in Rome and in a remote environment. So, John, thanks a lot. I will talk to you in Rome. Take
It
care.
was great to be here. Thanks for having me, John.
Awesome. Bye.